Unpacking the Toolbox is a production of Shondaland Audio in partnership with iHeartRadio.
Hi, Guillermo.
Hi, Katie Lowe's.
Hi, baby. You're never going to believe this.
What?
If I sound insane, I just got filling redone. Do you have cavities?
I do. I have a lot of cavities.
Oh, God. I don't because I'm perfect. And I love the dentist. I go every 3 months. I'm so obsessed with flossing and Listerine and the whole fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a couple fillings and they're replacing them because it turns out they're like 25 years old or something like that. And they have to just take out the old ones and put in new ones. That is my day today. And now we are talking about a very specific episode of Scandal that has to do a lot with the inside of my mouth.
Yes, with molars and bicuspids and all sorts of teeth.
Also, who the hell? Guys, this episode is wild. We are talking about the episode that caused the next 10 years of my life for me to walk around on the street and for Scandal fans to come up to me and be like, oh, you still got your teeth? Let me look inside your mouth. You still have your teeth? Literally.
Yes.
I've
had people come up to me and be like, can you lick me? Like I've literally had people want to take a picture with me licking them. Yeah, because of this episode.
And that was so pre-COVID.
It was super pre-COVID.
I had just so many people for years just be like, can I check inside your mouth? You still have all your teeth? And I'm like, guys, this is getting weird.
What if you open your mouth and your mouth was jacked up and you had 4 teeth and you were like, yeah, here you go.
You know what's fun? I wonder if this is what's given me my sort of obsession with the dentist, to be completely honest.
I feel like you were obsessed with the dentist probably way before this episode.
Whatever I'm covered for to get my teeth cleaning, I think you get it once every 6 months or something. I pay extra $125 to go every 3 months because
Why?
Because so many strangers be looking all up inside my mouth.
That's why. There you go. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
And today we have a very special guest who's your friend.
This person is listen, I discovered her about a year ago. I discovered her talent in front of the camera about a year ago, but I've known her for many years. And she was in the industry, but in a whole completely different role. And now she's amazing. Yeah,
she's so famous, and she's like the youngest guest we've ever had, and maybe the youngest person I've ever known because she is a big deal on the Ticker Talker. Which
She's a genius, like content creator.
Genius content creator is literally doing SNL level, if not better, sketch work 100%. On her social media channels. That's a compliment, right? I feel so old right now.
Hell yeah. Me too. Listen.
Okay, great.
But also, she is not only that, she's the hugest Scandal fan. She knows the show, I feel like, better than you and I do.
I completely agree. Who better to have on than to talk about one of the harder episodes that you and I ever had to shoot than someone that knows the show better than us inside and out because she's a true to her core gladiator.
Fan. A gladiator.
And without further ado, we have the one, the only.
Sabrina Brier.
I mean, such a fan.
I'm such a fan. Also, are you 5? Like, you're so bloody talented, but also, are you 5 and were you allowed to be watching Scandal when it was on? Why were you not in bed? What the hell?
I am 7 years old. No, I was in college during this Scandal prime.
Wow, you look great.
Girl.
Yeah.
I'm going to start telling people I'm like 20. That's why.
Totally. Please. It would be believable.
You look so great. I have no idea, but I just did the craziest deep dive of like all of your genius sketches. Like,
oh my God.
Aren't they fucking amazing?
Oh my God.
Listen, I've known Sabrina for a long time. Let's just start by also saying she used to work at Jill McGrath's office, working for Jill McGrath before she was in front of the camera.
Wait, are you out? Get the fuck out of here. Okay, hold on a second. You're an influencer, you're a talent, you're an
Yes,
actor,
a
you're
content
a comedian,
creator, all those
you're a content
words.
creator.
Yes.
You are cool, we are not.
Yeah. But also, listen, I started watching her videos about a year ago, I want to say, or even less than that. And now I am addicted. When you post on Instagram, I get so excited. They're so addictive and infectious. And that character you play is just the dopest gal. You're so good at what you do.
You guys are too much. I also just like really need it to be said. Like, I really just wish I had a mirror and like a camera and a time machine and I could go to myself in college when I used to like bootleg Scandal. I was so addicted to it that I would stay up. I'm not kidding. Sometimes it was like a problem. I was staying up till 4 a.m. I couldn't get myself to go to sleep because I was so intensely watching it, so obsessed. Talked about it to everyone who would listen to me. And if I could show you guys saying that about me,
I love that.
Wait. And for listeners, hold on a second. So that people don't know who Jill McGrath is, explain to me how you guys originally know each other, because it was Guillermo's idea that was like, Sabrina, who has got her finger on the pulse of all the people, like Scandal. And I'm like, what? We need to get her on the podcast.
But she also has a deeper connection to the show Scandal than just watching it and being a fan. And we'll get into that as well.
And we'll get into that.
Tell me why you first met each other and who Jill is.
So the first connection that we're talking about right now is that when I graduated college, a time in which I was at my Scandal height of obsession and intensity. You could call it like a mental breakdown in ways, but I graduated college. A month later, I started working for Jill McGrath as her assistant. And I remember sitting in the interviewing situation and she was like, yes, like we have really incredible clients, Guillermo Diaz. And I went, I'm sorry, Huck? Yeah, I know who that is. And then I got the job. And then for 2 years, I assisted Jill and all of her incredible clients, including King Guillermo. And
Jill is a very fancy Hollywood manager.
Yeah, Jill is my manager. And now she's Sabrina's manager as well. Full circle.
Another thing that I would not have believed if you had told me at that time.
How did that come to pass? Like, how did that conversation happen?
Manifestation is, I think, a very real thing. I certainly manifested it and dreamed about it like every day when I was working for her. Never thought that was going to be a possibility, but she and I just, of course, stayed in it as great friends and had a mentor-mentee relationship even after I left her desk for another desk. And so for a while, it was just that thing where it's like your ex-boss who is your friend. And she was the number one person I was always learning from, even as I moved away from that job. And until finally, when the other stuff started happening, it was really like an organic, because at first it was just a friend and then it just made sense. And so much of what I do and how I've learned is from her. So it's been nice where it's like the partnership now is so organic as well.
But also, Sabrina, we can both agree that Jill is a hard ass. Jill is no joke. She doesn't just, if she chose you to be your manager, she believes in you 100%. I feel like I'm still auditioning for Jill, and I've been with her for over 20-something years.
She would not say that.
Yeah, she's pretty scary. Like, I love her. I've hung out with her 1,000 times on this Scandal.
You know her, Katie.
All the press we did. Oh my God, I absolutely love her. She's so hardcore. Also, nothing is more appropriate for this episode that we're going to get into today, except that I just had a cavity redone. I am not shitting you.
I just got chills.
We are talking about the episode where Quinn got her teeth pulled out by Huck. And I am not kidding. We didn't know we were going to do this episode today. This dentist appointment has been in the books for weeks. This is weird.
Katie, you should have just come over to my house. I still have the Shonda.
You would have done it for free.
Listen, Sabrina, Shonda Rhimes gave me as a gift when we wrapped the show the actual pliers that I pulled Quinn's teeth out with. They're hanging on my wall in this room.
And guess what I got? Guess what I got?
What did you get?
The props department, when we wrapped this episode, almost killed me. First of all, I was so scared about being naked. I was supposed to be naked.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I was supposed to be naked. and I wore they just duct taped my boobs and we called it a duct tape bra. And they gave me my duct tape bra and the whole prop department signed it when I made it to the end of the episode.
God.
And I was done crying and I
amazing.
didn't think, and I have it saved in a box, like with all my Scandal memorabilia, just
I
in
love
case
that
anyone wants
so
to purchase that
much.
baby.
The duct tape directly on your skin?
No, I had like a nude bandeau bra and then like things around it, but I don't remember what was around my vagina, but it was definitely more duct tape.
I was like, Katie's naked. Like when I saw it, when I rewatched it, I was like, I did not remember this. I was like, what a commitment to the craft.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Oh, then when you had the thing in your mouth.
Yeah, that mouth thing opener, that metal mouth opener.
This was crazy.
I want to ask you one other question, and then we're getting this episode. Wait, Sabrina, can you just tell our listeners, how did you get into doing what you do, and why are you so huge on all the socials? Like, how is this happening?
Worked for Jill, always was like trying to write and make things. That was always the plan, was to make things and perform. I just wasn't sure how I was going to do it. When I left Jill, I was a writer's assistant and I was still continuing to work in the television industry in a more formal way. And then in COVID, I wasn't one of the like viral COVID people, but how insane I felt during quarantine made me finally start putting myself on Instagram, which was something I think I really in my gut always wanted to do, but was really afraid. I just for a year was just playing around with this character on Instagram, just like on a low level. And then by 2021, I put things on TikTok, and then since then, increasing in that space and decreasing as being a Hollywood assistant, which I haven't done in, I guess, like a year and a half or 2 years. And so
congratulations. That's fucking huge.
Thank you so much. As you guys know,
We've worked every shit side job in the history. I mean, that's being Jill's assistant. Sorry, Jill, not a bad job. That's a great job.
No, I'd much rather work with Jill now the way we are. Not to say it wasn't incredible, but this is obviously the preference.
Of course.
Sure.
100%. And with the internet stuff, it was just like, it's funny to be on the other end of it. To me, it's 2024 and I've been doing it since 2021. But of course, as you build, you get better at it. What you're doing evolves. Everything else that has happened has just been a result of me just continuing to do the videos.
Yeah. And you write all your stuff, right? You like write all your stuff, which is so hilarious.
Everyone who like makes the video with me, I love to give like the co-writing credit to, because it's so collaborative. I make them with friends and my family, and it's so collaborative where I come in with a concept and I have an idea of it and they are going, I feel like someone wouldn't say that, or I feel like this is more that. And so we kind of work together, and it's a little improv and it's a little that, and we just cook something up. And
listen, I think when are me and Katie going to be in one of your videos? I think you should do a video with me, Katie, as Quinn and Huck or some shit like that.
Anytime, always. Would love it.
When I come
we
back
are
to
available.
LA. Okay, when I come back to LA, I'm going to come back in a few months. And when I come back, don't make promises if you're not ready.
I'm so serious. I'm so down.
Listening, hear it now. Guillermo and I are 100% in to act in any of your videos on TikTok.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, totally. But like in my head, I'm like, okay, so what we could do is, so trust me, don't be like, if you really feel that way, it's already.
Let's do it. Let's freaking do it. Katie, really quickly, also Sabrina, tell everyone your connection to Scandal beyond being a fan, because there's something that I just found out that I had no idea.
What? Yeah. Tell.
Okay, so before meeting Jill, I'm in college, okay? And my best friend Varsha, she's in the dorm room right next to me. I remember walking into Varsha's room and she was like, I just had like a freaky dream. Like I just like, it felt so real. Like there was this war and like B613 was there and like it felt so real. I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, Scandal. I was like, and I was not exposed to Shonda. I was not a Grey's house like growing up. So it was just not something I didn't really understand. I think I even watched How to Get Away with Murder first before.
Wow. Oh, wow. Sure.
And so I was like, wow, well, if she's really feeling a deep, scared connection to the show, I probably should check it out. And she's a doctor now, so she really knew what she was talking about. Shit. Really knew. And I was like, I guess I'll try this Scandal thing. It was like a disease that took over me. I'm pretty sure I would like skip class. Sorry, parents. I couldn't stop watching. I couldn't pry my eyes away. And then in the midst of that, I had a friend who was like, guess who I'm connected with now and who I can introduce you to? Zahir McGee.
Yes.
We
He was one of
love
our
Zahir
writers.
McGee. Zahir McGee
Yes.
was one of the staple great writers on Scandal for a long time. Mm-hmm.
Absolute icon, king of a man.
Yes.
And just not only the most incredible person to me as a mentor, but also the fact that he happened to be so involved with Scandal. It was just crazy. And so I spent like a year kind of being like, here's a funny thought. What if I like interned? And I just really pitched and he was really trying to make it happen for me too, because he is an angel. And then it was only like not that long. It was like May or something. I got a call from Mary Howard. So I interned the summer of 2016, I want to say, the summer before my senior year of college. I spent 3 weeks as a production intern. Tom Verica was the director on the episode.
The hell
I
up.
am dying. What was the episode? Do you remember anything about it?
It was the last season.
Okay.
It might have been like 601. Like it might have, because it was 6
Well,
seasons.
yeah, because Tom
right?
would have only directed
seven
like
seasons.
the start and the last. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
He would only direct the first episode and the last episode of
That's
most
right.
season.
6 sounds more right to me than 7.
Yeah.
We meet? Have
Did we
met
meet,
before?
right? Did we see you on set? Or?
I never met Guillermo up close. Katie, we definitely were in like Crafty together. I was terrified.
Of course, that tracks. I was definitely in Crafty 100%.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I wasn't there Crafty with you, because Katie and I would be like, do you want to get food? And be like, yeah, let's go get food.
It must
Always.
have been a scene that you weren't in. That would be
Yes.
the only reason why.
Katie, I definitely remember like you coming, but I was scared. I think at one point I was like getting food like right next to Tony Goldwyn. So I was like, hi, Tony. And so it was like, but I was so scared that I was only waiting for the exact moment I could say hi to people. And I don't think it ever happened with either of you guys. And I also wasn't on set the whole time. I had some days on set, but I went on like location scouts, which was really cool. And then Scott was like directing the next episode. It might have been one of the first
Scott
time
Foley, yeah.
I actually went on his location scout too. And I remember we all went to a fancy restaurant. Like,
Oh,
I
wow.
had no idea what was happening. And I was just like, and also like when you're an intern in college too, because of all the labor laws, you can't really do anything.
No, you can't. Yeah. Right.
Space.
You're just sort of looking around.
You're looking around. I remember one time, Sarah, was there a lovely blonde producer named
Sarah
I
Rissmiller.
think it was Sarah
Town,
Rissmiller.
wow.
Right
was
hand. I
Sarah.
love Sarah Rissmiller.
I remember she was like, shoo, I left my water bottle at the stage. And I was like, I'll get it. Because
I'll go get it.
there's nothing I could do. You can't touch the costumes. You can't touch anything. So like to be useful, I was like dying for ways to not just be in everyone's way. And so I was like, I'll do it. And she's like, I don't want to make the intern get the water. I was like, please, it would be my pleasure. And then
You come back with a box of waters. Yo, but now check you out.
Was anybody rude to you? Please tell me. Was anybody fucking rude to you?
No.
Yeah, you were, Katie.
No.
I'm like sitting here. I'm like, oh shit. Does she have some craft
like,
service story where I was like a bitch and I cut her in line for like a turkey sandwich?
No, it was so not the vibe. Everyone
Yeah.
was so
Okay, good.
happy all the time. And also one other thing I remember too is like that. Remember that guy who's really like strong and big, and he was like the vegan crafty
Oh yeah,
guy.
was he New Zealand? He was a Kiwi?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
He had a lot of tattoos and he was
Yes.
bald and tan and hot.
Amazing. The food was so
Yes.
that's the best crafty I've ever had since having other crafty for
Listen,
sure.
and Katie and I talk about food a lot on this podcast. It's one of
A
our
lot.
favorite things to do. But really quickly, now you're on the Scandal Rewatch podcast, going from being a fan to being an intern.
You're the queen bee, honey.
Yes, and how appropriate for this episode, because this is one of my favorite episodes ever.
Crazy episode.
We'll be right back, guys.
Okay, let's get into this
Yeah.
episode really quick. It's episode 309 entitled YOLO.
YOLO.
So, of course, the youngest person we know and have ever had on this podcast, Sabrina, should be doing the YOLO episode. It aired on December 5th, 2013.
And it was written by Chris Van Dusen, and it was directed by Oliver Bolkelberg. But do you remember, Katie, our original director was let go, and then Oliver had to jump in and finish directing the episode. I won't mention no names, but
yeah,
there was some stuff going down.
Some person got fired. And then Chris Van Dusen, who wrote the episode, actually also wrote and created the first season of Bridgerton. The guest stars in this episode are out of control. It's Paul Adelstein as Leo Bergen, Yara Shahidi as the young Olivia Pope,
and
Candy Alexander.
Yes,
go G.
Our favorite. I love her so much. Candy Alexander as Maya Lewis, and Kelly McCreary, who's also on Grey's Anatomy as Claire Tucker. Queens, man, they're so good. Amazing.
Queens. The guest stars were so insane on this episode and on the whole show. Okay, the synopsis is... Synopsis and scandal pace. Ready? Here we go. As the team gets closer to the truth, loyalties are tested and relationships are pushed to the limit.
Meanwhile, Cyrus has to deal with his own crisis, and he realizes that he may have gone too far. Too far.
Guys, this episode is, I literally thought that Quinn was going to die. This was it. This was the one where I was like, I'm done. Everybody hates me. Quinn is over. Goodbye, job. Goodbye, financial security. Goodbye.
That's not going to happen. We were always afraid of that we were going to get killed off, and it never happened.
But it was so... Did you enjoy watching it back, Guillermo and Sabrina? What did you guys think watching those fucking torture scenes? This is the episode, guys, where Quinn is on Huck's tarp and she's getting her teeth ripped out.
Yes.
It's iconic. It's an iconic scandal ep.
Of course, remembered that Huck gets crazy. But I did not really remember this, and so watching this scene after, because it's like my first watch was like Guillermo was like, I couldn't have imagined him as a person. Now that I know him, to watch you also when you lick Katie's face.
Oh,
I'm like,
yes.
Guillermo.
Like, what is even happening? That was scripted, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that in the stage direction?
Listen, we took some risks on the show, but I wouldn't have been like, let me lick her face real quick in this shot. Yeah, that was definitely scripted. Definitely.
You're like, look, guys, I'm sick, but I'm not that sick. It was also like, it was a reminder, too, of the Shonda-ness of the pushing the boundaries.
Yes.
There were so many moments where when you would cut out and scenes and you're like, they're not really going to show it. And then like they do. And you're like, oh, right, it's like, does what it wants.
This is the first episode, too, that they had to put a major like content warning before the episode starts.
Oh, interesting.
So that tells you right there how much we pushed the limits on this one.
Oh my God.
It starts off with me with the pliers and cleaning them with a cotton ball with alcohol and just getting ready to dig into your mouth.
And it's season 3 and we know Quinn at this point, so it's not like seeing the typical victim. So it's really like intense. You know,
I could barely watch it this time around. First of all, I was like, oh my God, Katie, slow it down with your acting. Just stop.
You were so good. What are you talking about?
You're your own worst critic.
Yes.
But I'm like, oh my God, clearly it got to my head that I was like, I only have my eyes to act because my mouth is covered with duct tape. So let's make sure that all my and my my eyes are just doing the craziest shit ever.
You were acting.
I was acting the shit out of those scenes. It was absolutely insane. But I just, now that I know, I think similar to you, Sabrina, it's like now I know where Quinn and Huck end up. I just couldn't believe he did that to her.
Yeah, it was super emotional too. I mean, even Huck gets emotional in the scene when he's like, I've never done this to a family member, something like that, right? He says
like,
something
I love
like
you. I've
that.
never done this to someone I love.
Yeah,
like,
but you not only betrayed me, you betrayed Olivia as well. And I think that's what, he was like, okay, we have to discipline her and set her right. Yeah.
It shows his intense loyalty to Liv. No matter how close they had gotten, he's the loyal servant.
Dog.
Yeah, like the pit bull, yep.
First of all, for listeners, Guillermo Diaz, greatest, most giving. This is what I do remember. I remember Guillermo being so kind. I was super freaked out to shoot these scenes. I'm not going to lie. Like, I felt very vulnerable. I was like, first of all, naked on a set pretty much, like in a tiny bikini covered with duct tape, which is like never great. And then also like in a kind of not great. Not great. And then I just remember being like, I'm scared to do this. It just felt really scary. And Guillermo, I have flashes of memory of you being like, If you want it, like you just checking in with me between every take. Are you okay? Do you need anything? I'm here with you. Like you were such a caretaker, even though you were such a
in between me being like the horrible hug.
He's licking your face.
Yes.
Yeah, it was so crazy. I remember that. And I remember that I did this stupid thing. Actresses listening, this shit is so dumb. It doesn't work. Don't do it ever. I remember doing some juice cleanse the 4 days leading up to it. This was when juice cleanses were really big. 15 years ago, people would do it. Yeah, I remember doing that like 4 days before because I was like terrified that I had to be like you ended up seeing nothing. So it was completely useless.
Yeah, but no, you see you looking super snatched and hot when you're in the towel after Charlie comes to
you only see my
save you.
arms. Who doesn't care? You didn't see anything. I could have eaten the whole week.
You see your shoulders, you see your back. Yeah. No, you looked hot.
You were a woman in distress. There's nothing hotter. There's nothing hotter.
That's so true.
It was horrible. And I remember, oh my God, I'm never going to juice cleanse again. I'm so tired. Like, I have no energy. Like, what a dumb rookie actor choice. That is just not necessary.
That's just the 2010s.
That's the
really
2010s.
It's not your fault.
It's not my fault. It was the 2010s.
Yeah.
Katie, I remember, speaking of diets and all that stuff, I remember you on our lunch break having an amazing looking salad and a big old thing of Tupperware, and it had all these fancy lettuces, and you dressed it with just olive oil and lemon, and you had chopped up turkey in there. So you were super on that, like I'm eating healthy.
Still eat that.
No
I have
carbs.
that for lunch all the time.
I love that shit too. And my mouth is watering right now thinking about it because it looked so good. Meanwhile, I was probably like eating a hot dog next to you or something, or a Mexican bowl.
Sabrina, what's your favorite lunch right now? To get back to Scandal.
I think I saw Guillermo recently. I think my sister said this to Guillermo, but there's something else about my Scandal internship experience that does have to do with food.
That's right.
While we're on the topic, that is really important to me, which is that, of course, the experience of being on Scandal was so amazing, but there was something else that was really amazing about it, which was that I had the best cookie I've ever had in my life that to this day, nothing has compared, and I have never stopped thinking about it. And I talked to a lot of people in my life about it. And I think that my mom was like concerned and called my sister and was like, I think this internship is going well, but she keeps talking about like the cookies.
Wait, was it craft services going around with like warm cookies in the afternoon?
You know how there was like a cafe on the lot?
Yeah, I love that cafe.
So do I.
I used to get the kale salad, Caesar salad, and this cookie. And it was like big and had sea salt on top.
Oh, I used to get that cookie too.
You did,
It
Katie?
was chocolate chip.
Wow.
My mouth is
Shut
a geyser
up.
waterfall right
You know what I'm talking about? Why was it the best cookie in the world? And then I remember one time at the first production meeting where I was there, they had all these cookies. And I was like, I need to eat one. And then I ate one. And then the production meeting was going on and I kept going up and getting more.
They were really oversized, right? In a plastic individual bag. They were oversized chocolate chip cookies and they had sea salt on them. But I think they also have an oatmeal option. Am I making this up? I think they had like another option too. But
Katie, do you think if we went to Sunset Gower this afternoon, me and you, they would let us in to go to the commissary and get that cookie? Probably not. They'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Maybe we go when we make the TikTok.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Actually, when I was in LA recently, I was right across the street and I had the thought. I said, what if I just walked in there right now and asked if they still have this cookie? But maybe we all go to the cafe and we get the salad and the cookie and then we make a TikTok.
That would be. First, we have to get into the lot. First, we have to get past security.
We get greenlit for a new project that films at Sunset Gower.
Yes.
All just to get the cookie.
Just for the
This is
cookie.
exactly what is happening. I'm so hungry for this, and I am so excited, and I can't wait for this to happen. Gladiators, you don't want to miss it, and all of the Sabrina TikTok social media fans. Any of the episode, fave highlight Kerry Washington School of Acting moments of the week? What were your highlight moments of this episode of people's performances?
One of my Kerry Washington highlight moments is when she speaks Chinese on the phone. I full on cracked up and was like, this girl can do anything. Like she's full on speaking in Chinese.
Because she's talking to Hong Kong, right? For
Yes.
those listening, they're trying to get Candy Alexander, who they're
To
running
Hong
her
Kong,
away
yes.
from commands. They're trying to get her away from Rowan. And so they're trying to get her to Hong Kong with like fake Social Security, fake passports, like all this shit. And Carrie's just like on the phone with Hong Kong, like I'm sending my mom. I thought casual, just so casual. What about you, Sabrina?
It's so hard because I haven't watched Scandal in a really long time. So to me, it was every performance I was like tweaking out because it was so exciting to like see all my friends again. I will say I was really excited to see Kelly McCreary because
oh my God.
I again, my Grey's coming of age was post Scandal. So now I'm in this place where I was like watching Scandal and then when I watch Grey's and I'd be like, oh my God, both of Meredith's parents are from Scandal. Not understanding people. It's the opposite. It's no, they're from Grey's and then they went to Scandal. So to me, to see one of those switcheroos, it was freaky and exciting.
Yes.
She kills. She's only in it for a short minute in this episode, but my God, is she a star.
She's so good.
She's such a star. She just comes in and of course they just plucked her out of Scandal and placed her as a lead on Grey's Anatomy. That's like
and she has that Scandal pace down too. Like she fit right
so
in as that
good.
super spy like chick.
I was obsessed with Paul Edelstein's opening monologue to Sally about you need to switch to pro-choice. He just comes in so huge in his choices and his commitment that it's just fucking unbelievable.
There were two others, Katie. I feel like the scene in the safe room where Liv is on the floor. She's catatonic, like she's going through it because she thought her mother was dead. And then the pace is so quick and so perfect. It's Abby, it's Harrison, it's Scott Foley and myself. And then we grab Maya and throw her on the table and then we have to dig that chip out of her neck.
Oh, yeah.
I
love that scene. And somebody says it's going to hurt. And she says, do it. And they just shove like something in her mouth and then we just cut her neck and pull out the chip.
It's so fun to have those moments where you're like reliving, because we, in so many ways, Huck and Jake are mysteries emotionally, but then in moments like that where they look at each other and they're like, we both know what to do because we were traumatized by this training, and they're so on the same page. It's so interesting when we see like that kind of weird emotional connection between
That's so true. That's such a good point.
So true.
And then the other one really quickly, Katie, is James and Cyrus. When Cyrus is like, you slept with him in our house. I thought that scene was stellar. So powerful.
That scene, Dan Bugatinsky's acting. It's, for you guys listening, what goes on is Cyrus is trying to blackmail Daniel Douglas. Guys, this is where my lip is not working. He's trying to fucking and have something on him. And so he sends in James to like, once they figure out that he's gay and he doesn't like, they keep trying to send women into Daniel Douglas to flirt with him and get him to cheat on Sally Langston and take photos of it so they can blackmail him and get Sally Langston off the ticket and get her out of their hair. And then they realize Daniel Douglas doesn't like chicks. He likes dudes. And so they send in James, even though Cyrus is married to him. And the scene that's just absolute fire is when it finally comes out where James is like, you used me. Like, you used me as like a whore or whatever he says. I'm trying to even remember what he said. And it's
but that
just
back
like,
and forth with James and Cyrus is so powerful.
And it ends with the laptop he shows, I want a divorce, I want a divorce, I want a divorce, I want a divorce, I want a divorce. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when he breaks down after that in front of Millie, which I'm trying to, again, please season 3. I feel like at this point we had such like a slow burn with Cyrus of showing his humanity. So I feel like in season 3, it was the fact that he's like crying and we're seeing the actual impact that his actions have on him emotionally. It's like we don't see that much of that from him at first because they keep him as such like a cold monster.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah.
So I feel like at the time it was especially jarring and so sad. And I feel like also just touches on the theme of, do I want to be a real person like the Jam and the Vermont thing, or want the political power? And here, Cyrus, we know him as the person who political power is everything to him. But in this moment, it's like we see that crack.
And then that fractures quickly because then James is like, I'm taking my daughter and I'm leaving you. But then Cyrus, you see that monster come out of Cyrus again. And he's, good luck, because I have photos of you having sex with homeboy. Go ahead and try to take my daughter away because I'll bring those out and that's not going to be good. So yeah, you see him, you see the monster and then his soft spot for his husband, which is his weakness. And yeah, it's so interesting. It's so good.
I feel like that's a theme in all of the characters, is like the idea of the political power versus being a human. But I feel like with Cyrus, that's like his main thing.
Yeah.
It's always so impactful.
Yeah, and in Olivia Pope, they do the same thing. It's, are we gladiators or are we people? And it's like a very similar thing. Oh my God, I love breaking down this episode with you, Sabrina. You have such great
She knows
insight.
these characters better than we do. Like,
We will be back with more after the break.
Why were you so obsessed with Scandal? Are you like a TV junkie and
I'm
you
a
always
TV
have a
junkie.
show? Okay, great.
I'm a TV junkie, but I also, Shonda's whole way of putting a show together and the really intense love triangle in the middle and the ways that, you know, the casting choices that I feel like are a thing in all of her shows, especially like the big three, like How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal, Grace, where like you meet a character and it's not until seasons later that you have a different perspective of them. Like just all of those things that to me are just like the height of television entertainment, along with the fact that obviously the writing and the craft of it is so gorgeous and incredible too. I just really had never seen anything like it. And it just really influenced me to want to be a Shonda one day and be the type of person who has a certain type of television I've created that I continue to repeat in different ways. And
you're doing that now.
Yeah, you are.
Because the character that you create on your little vignettes, on your videos, it's such a special, quirky, just outside of the box of it's just, you've created this wonderful character. So you're on your way there.
Were you team Jake or team Fitz?
So I was definitely much more it's hard because like it's so hard.
Yeah.
But for me, like Big, Aiden, Carrie, like I feel like ultimately if I really had to pick, it would be Aiden, because even though I loved the Big like storyline, I'm like Aiden is so the best. But
I hear you.
It's harder with this one because I love that Jake is such an underdog. I love their connection more in ways, and I almost loved how it was less about the work and more about stripped down, just their connection. I don't know, there were so many things about when Jake was coming in the scene, I was in the moment go with Jake. Once they had Fizz really done everything with it, I was okay for that not to be
let go
the thing. But I definitely, it's a hard one.
It's a hard one.
Really hard one. And I love a love triangle. Oh my God.
I love a love triangle too. And poor Scott Foley has had the whole career of that. I feel like that was him on Felicity too. Wasn't he just like
so funny?
Felicity, it was him and Scott Speedman and Kerry Russell. 7 years, I think.
That's so interesting. And he's so good at that.
Yeah,
no cookies for those guys. No cookies, because they were constantly naked. So those guys barely ate on set. Like they were always starving themselves.
Yeah, me and Guillermo could do whatever we wanted. It was the best.
Yes.
Are there are you into horror, Sabrina?
I love, I know that's Guillermo's pride and joy. I'm into it. I feel weird saying in front of Guillermo because I know it's like he's a scholar.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't make me sick. But I love like a good thriller. Like I definitely am into it, but I wouldn't say I'm like a horror junkie.
Okay. Me, I hate them.
Katie,
Guillermo.
I was bummed out that this episode, I looked up everyone. There's a couple of films that our wonderful producer found. Jake Coleman was in a movie called The Landlady, and Paul Edelstein was in The Menu. I looked those films up, and they're not true like horror films. They were like meh. But then I thought to myself, yo, this episode is a horror film.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that made me so happy. You know what I mean? I was like,
you loved shooting it. I remember
loved it. I love being insane on the show.
When anything on Scandal happened where Huck is crossing crazy shit and doing things that most actors would not be comfortable with in that space, Guillermo was into it.
chomping at the bit for sure.
Like I always felt uncomfortable. Like in later seasons, they're giving me like a face rake to like murder this girl, and then I'm like getting in
and I
fist
was like,
fights.
yes.
And I'm just like, I like the walk and talk part, sitting at an investigation table.
No.
Like even the gun shooting, which is the gun shooting. I
That
think
was
in the
in the
previous
last-
episode.
yeah.
Even that I was uncomfortable. I was like, this is like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Intense. And then it's so funny because Guillermo, as a human being, is just a sweet little puppy. You're just like the sweet. I was with a friend who saw Guillermo recently, and when we left, we were just like, how is someone so nice and amazing and so sweet? It's so funny to me to watch you be like, and then
right, drill people. But I feel like I liked it a little too much. I had too much fun, I think, doing it. We had one director, Sabrina, that would come up to me. I remember a few times we were doing an episode and he kept coming up to me and he would say, "You're too maniacal. Why are you so maniacal? You're too crazy." And I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, sorry, I'm literally having the best time of my life taking out Katie's teeth. I'm not going to
but because I love this. That's why I'm maniacal. I love doing this. I'm living my horror story dreams.
Seriously.
For Guillermo's 6 Degrees of Horror, I don't know if it's a true horror movie either, but Paul Adelstein in The Menu is fucking awesome. I loved that movie. He's incredible. Oh my God.
But it's not a horror film, right? It's not
I mean, you would consider, I think, because it's more thrillery.
Gotcha.
G, can you please watch it and we can report back onto
I'm
it
gonna
on the
watch
podcast,
it. I'm going to watch it. Yes.
Paul is amazing on
yes.
it. Okay. Was there eating in this episode?
Maya Pope eats a grape in a wide shot when Olivia brings her breakfast in a bag. That's the only eating.
All the actors are only eating grapes. It's season 3 and it's terrible.
She's like, Mom, I got you breakfast. And she's, thank you.
Just cutting up a grape into 8 sections.
Yes, and we see her eat it. Yeah, we see her eat it in the wide shot, and then when they're close up, she's just holding the grape while she's talking. I'm like, put it in your mouth, eat it.
Oh my
it's
God.
delicious. That grape looks delicious. But other than that, there was no eating in this episode. But I remember you eating that salad, Katie, and that made me really excited.
I don't remember there ever being
off camera.
I thought they did a really good job of like when you rip off the duct tape in my mouth and stuff, like blood comes out and stuff. I don't remember them putting like a blood pellet in there. I don't remember doing any of that.
I don't remember that stuff either. Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember having to throw you up against the wall, and it was all very much choreographed. Because we were doing all this physical stuff, and we were in this small space. It was on set, and we were on set. This is Huck's apartment, right?
Yeah.
Where he takes you.
No, it's Quinn's apartment.
It's Quinn's apartment, and they built it on set, remember?
And we built it on set.
Yeah.
And what I remember is that we did all the tour. It was one day, 12 hours
Was it
straight.
1 day?
1 day,
Oh, damn.
12 hours straight of the entire torture scenario.
We were
and then my
good.
last scene of the night, we're so good. And then the last scene of the night, George Newbern showed up at 10 or 11 o'clock at night to do the last scene where I have to drop and we have to make out.
Right,
And I remember, that's my cringeworthy. We always talk about our own cringeworthy moments, which I've already been into where I was like, Jesus, Katie, just simmer down on the overacting. But the other thing is, I love that Quinn's fucking teeth have been ripped out.
And she's like,
and she makes out with, and then she's, oh my God, it feels great. Like, let's make out harder. Like, I did one thing that was scripted where I'm like, ow. And then I don't care. But you know what? Maybe I'm going to justify that right now, that Quinn is such a sick person. And she's into how bad it hurts.
Oh, yeah.
She's so messed up. It makes her feel alive, right? Ugh, that's so dark. That's so dark. She's so dark.
It's true. Seeing you and George Newbern make out, it's like you guys are brother and sister. But on camera, it's your chemistry on camera as lovers is so believable.
It is.
I was a stan, I remember, because you like to see the characters who feel lonely and you want it. That's what you want to see. And the two of you guys were that. Oh, I was all for it, I remember.
Yes.
I was like, yes.
Oh my God. That was my other cringeworthy moment, is that scene again where Quinn and Charlie are going to make out, but I say like, and now I don't have anyone and I'm alone. And because like she's saying Huck pulled my teeth out. So now like he's not my person anymore in the office.
You have
but
no
my lines were like,
family.
I don't have anyone. I don't have anybody. And I'm like, oh my God,
Katie,
Quinn,
I thought your
stop.
acting was so good.
No, it was
Oh, God.
so good. You're being
And your
crazy.
hair was just slightly wet.
Yeah, I
Oh,
liked
you
my
look
hair. I
so
did like my
sexy.
hair. I liked my
so
hair. Thank you.
great.
And I had no makeup on, which I'm always like, ugh, why do I prefer
No,
that look? Like, I just
you
like
look
love
so
it.
good. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're like,
Thank
wait,
you.
I look really good with blood dripping down my neck.
Face and no makeup.
Look, it's kind of
I liked my shower look like a lot. Like I was like, ooh, I cute.
Yeah,
like,
I was
liked
feeling that.
I didn't like the blood look, but I did the towel look.
You know
like,
what other
was happy about that?
what other look I loved on you, Katie, is when you
What?
and
I love
Charlie
this
are
episode.
walking away and you're like in a gray shirt with a black
Boobs.
jacket and a ponytail and your boobs look so
The
good.
note that I wrote on watching the episode
Oh.
last night, just in all
And I'm
caps,
gay. Yeah.
was boobs.
We love
And
to
those
see it.
boobs no longer exist because this was pre-breastfeeding 2 children for 3 years. I
You were
used to
sexy
have a
AF.
fucking rack and a nice perky
Hey, good thing
set.
it was documented. Good thing it was documented.
That's so true, Sabrina. Yes.
I completely agree. My husband, I was always like, oh, it's such a bummer that you didn't have to do like a topless scene like pre-children because, what a gift, like to just share because they were great and now they are not. They've
I'm sure
been
that's not
through
true.
war
I'm
and
sure
back.
that's not. I'm sure they
true.
look
I
great
think
still.
they're better in all
Let's
honesty.
see 'em.
I think, oh yeah, you want to see? No, I think honestly, if we weren't on video, I'd totally show you them. Everyone's seen them. I don't care.
You're like, obviously, I wouldn't show you.
I think they are good compared to people who had bad boobs and then breastfed. They're only going to be worse boobs. And I had great boobs and then I breastfed and now I have okay boobs.
Good boobs.
That's like the normal version. But anyway,
Or
boobs.
You
Okay.
have the same great boobs, but now they're just like enhanced by the experience of like
Yes.
eternal motherhood. And
Exactly.
Oh,
They're
so
nuanced. They're
great.
nuanced boobs. Yes.
in a way, they're actually better because they're like.
I love you so much, Sabrina. I agree
I
with
love you so much. Wait, okay. I'm trying to think of any other moments in this chock full ep.
There's
discussed.
one moment that we haven't talked about that I think is what carries it just makes this episode even better than what it is the song that is playing constantly throughout the episode. It's Ben by Michael Jackson, sung by Michael Jackson. And the song is about a rat. And the whole time, and then at the end, we find out that Maya, Olivia's mother, is actually a rat. She's the bad guy. And I thought, how interesting is this that they chose this song? And it's such a beautiful song.
The song
I got chills
Ben
right
is
now.
about a rat?
Yeah, it's about a rat.
I didn't. Do you know this,
It's from a
Sabrina?
movie called Willard, I believe, which is about a guy who's obsessed with. He has like a pet rat and he's obsessed with rats. I might be wrong about that, but the song is about a rat. The rat's name is Ben.
Hold the fuck up.
Yes.
I'm looking this up
Look
right
it up.
now.
Look
I
it
don't
up,
know
homie.
what
Look it
you
up.
were
I looked it
talking
up last
about.
night.
First of all, yes, the music, like nothing else like it. Oh my goodness. Like the music of the whole, that was another thing.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in college, I used to just like, when I wasn't watching Scandal, I was listening to the playlist.
Really?
Like, I think Sabrina might need some help mentally. but also the way that like the music has this interesting juxtaposition
Yes.
always in
To
the way
what's
that
happening on screen? Yes.
what's happening on screen. And also I feel like that song, because of how they set it up with Yara Shahidi, it's okay, this is a symbol of her childhood and this time of her life. But then really, it's so sad that she never really had this innocent childhood as it turned out, because nothing was innocent about this situation. And
Sabrina is breaking it down.
Breaking it down. You could literally have your own podcast
Yes.
about Scandal episodes
Scandal.
and what was really going on. And
Did you look it up, Katie? Did you look up Ben?
Okay, first of all, I looked up the lyrics, which is 100% about a rat. That's insane. It's just like the lyrics are like, Ben, the two of us need look no more. We both found what we were looking for with a friend to call my own. I'll never be alone. Ben, you're always running here to there. I'm like,
Which
this
is
is about a rat?
And it's also about Maya Pope, right?
Yeah.
She's
a
always
rat.
running to and fro. Yeah.
It's like we thought she had daddy issues this whole time, but really she has mommy issues. And that's what we
Oh my
learned.
God.
You know what I mean?
Yes, her
It
and her
feels
dad.
in like a metaphor for growing up with your parents. And like this whole time she thought that he made this decision in this way to spite her, but really he was trying to protect her. I was obsessed with this twist. Obsessed.
I love it. It's such a shocker too, right? Because you're like, oh, damn, she's the bad one.
She's the bad one. And the biggest shock of the whole episode, other than, I mean, it's a 2-for-1 banger, is just the ending 2 minutes, which you better not fucking move on or check your phone because A, we've got that Maya Pope is the rat. Thank you very much, Michael Jackson. And then we've got number 2, Sally Langston murders her fucking husband.
Yes, a bloody pulp on the floor.
There's blood everywhere and Daniel Douglas is just face down. And I don't know who she calls. Who does she call?
I thought she calls James. I thought, doesn't she?
Cyrus.
Oh, Cyrus.
She
okay.
called
She called
It's
Cyrus.
It's done. And then also I'm like, that's Ellis Gray.
Oh, yes.
It's Ellis Gray, which is such a different character than Sally Langston. It's because Kate Burton's such a good actress. I know.
And Sabrina, she's Richard Burton's daughter who was married to Elizabeth Taylor. She's like Hollywood royalty. Katie says this all the time. You're the first one that said this. Yeah.
I knew she was like a theater queen, like Steppenwolf, or Cyrus is Steppenwolf.
Iris is Steppenwolf, and she's been on Broadway 8 million times here. She went to Yale.
She went to
Yes. So I knew she was a queen in that way, but I didn't know also the Hollywood.
Yeah, her dad is Richard Burton, who was a master actor. He was Anthony and Cleopatra, and yeah.
Yeah, I always feel like the Scandal president and vice president is royalty because Tony Goldwyn is Goldwyn. Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MGM. Hollywood royalty.
Yeah.
That's his family. His family is Richard Burton.
I know.
So his name and to be as good as he is.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I know. Now, I have a question for you, Sabrina. Did you ever tweet?
About
with
Scandal?
Us? Yeah.
So I gotta tell you, I was not chronically online until I became a person online.
Really?
Good.
It really was that I became a meme on Twitter, and that's how I started to be like, I have to figure out how Twitter works. I was never on it in high school and college. There's a lot of people I could call on the phone and be like, how much did I talk about Scandal from 2015 until, and they'd be like, a lot. We were worried about you. That's my evidence.
And do you tweet now?
Now I just Twitter and Instagram and all the
TikTok,
stuff.
yeah.
Same thing you see me doing across all
All
the most
platforms.
part. I'm doing the videos primarily is my way of bothering people on there.
It's making our lives better.
It is making our lives better.
It's bringing us enjoyment and happiness.
And we're going to read some tweets of the time.
It's a Spanish bird. Pew.
But I'm bummed that you and I did not spend any time tweeting. But honestly, your parents did a good job in that you weren't on Twitter as a college student because it
Always
wasn't a safe space. Yeah, not great. But we have at Lauren K tweeted on December 5th, 2013. At Katie Q. Lowe's gets her face licked by Guillermo Diaz tonight. I shouldn't be as excited as I am, but what can I say? YOLO. Hashtag scandal.
Yeah. Let's see. Leone tweeted that opening scene between Huck and Quinn was too disturbing, and that completely destroyed any shippy feels. Whatever, Leone. Hashtag scandal.
Come on, get over it. Oh,
You
don't worry.
loved it.
Huck and Quinn get together next year. Isn't that next season where we hook? I don't remember.
I think so. I don't remember. We'll find
I don't
out.
remember either. At Empowered on December 5th tweeted, just curious, how many grad students like myself have said, oh, I'll finish this paper during Scandal and have failed miserably? See, Sabrina, there were other college students just like you.
Yo, and at Karina Bailey tweeted, oh my, quick, someone turn on a Christmas movie. That episode of Scandal was too intense for me. And if you're going to turn on a Christmas movie, turn on Katie's Christmas movie, which is called...
Don't. I've got two. I've got Christmas Takes Flight on CBS, and I've also got Merry Kiss Cam on Hulu.
That's it.
I love this.
With Jesse Bradford. Cliff
yes, I love him
from Bring
so
It On.
much. I love him so much. At Trey Mara tweeted, at Kerry Washington, honestly, I didn't think hashtag Scandal could get any more scandalous. It's crazy. Hashtag I love Scandal.
Yo, really quickly, one more acting thing that stood out was your feet, Katie. You did the best foot acting in this episode. The foot fetishists out there are like salivating
I have
over
nice
this episode.
feet, actually.
You do.
Like, they're okay.
But
They're
you
okay.
break that
Where were my
glass.
feet?
You grab the glass. You throw it on the floor. Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh, maybe I should like upload that somewhere that I can get paid for
You need
that.
to monetize those feet, yo.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Sabrina, wait, where can people tell people what you've got going on, where we can find you, what you have coming out? Because Guillermo and I are obsessed with you. I think you're a
Yes.
fucking star, and I need to know everything. Everybody.
Sabrina posted a picture of her and I when we went to dinner with her sister and a really great friend and a few other friends. And so many people on Instagram were like, oh my God, I love her. I love her videos. Like over and over. It was crazy. Anyway, go ahead. Where can we find you?
You can find me on the internet, Sabrina Brier, and I do have some fun things cooking that haven't been announced that I will be talking about soon. So just follow me, you guys, and thank you so much.
We love you so much.
You have so much shit coming out that you're going to tell us. You are like a working busy bee. It's all happening.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this moment.
This was such a treat, such a gift that you came on. We're
Such
so
a
happy.
treat. Thank
guys
you,
are good.
Sabrina. And next week, we've got, what is the name of it? Oh my God, episode 310, A Door Marked Exit. I don't know if we have a guest, but you should tune in to find out because you know we've got the best guests like Sabrina here
You
and
know we got
everybody
the
else.
good
And
stuff.
episode 310, A Door Marked Exit. We love you, gladiators. Until next week.
Adios,
Peace.
amigos. Thank you guys for joining us on Unpacking the Toolbox. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, share with your friends, rate, or leave us a review.
Scandal is executive produced by Sandy Bailey, Alex Alche, Lauren Homan, Tyler Klang, and Gabrielle Collins. Our producer and editor is Vince DeJohnny, with music by Chad Fisher.
Scandal is a production of ABC Signature, and you can follow along by rewatching Scandal on Hulu.
Unpacking the Toolbox is a production of Shondaland Audio in partnership with iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from Shondaland Audio, visit the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you subscribe to your favorite shows.